What is going on, my peeps? Man Versatiles back with another video, back here less than 24 hours later with my thoughts, my true first impressions of the Galaxy Z Flip 3. Yes, this beautiful device, this phantom black that is a matte black finish. Basically, well, I mean, it is black. I mean, when you open it in ways, it can look like a steel gray or titanium, but it is phantom black nonetheless. How are my thoughts after fully setting this phone up and using it? Now, one of the problems I immediately see with this is the front display. When you try to use your own preloaded pictures at first, like when you close it, it won't load a picture, but when you double tap, it'll finally bring it up. And as you guys can see there, I have some pictures. You can choose up to 15, and I have pictures that I've taken through virtual photography on the Marvel Avengers game. So I have, or Spider-Man as well, and I like it. You know, you can still swipe, and boom, look at that, just gorgeous. And then you can still swipe, use your widgets, swipe back, and then boom, just like that. And with this black finish, this black look, everything just blends in so well. So I had to come back in here. I'm literally like 6-7 hours into using the phone right now, and I'm like super astonished. So before I get into any more of my thoughts, if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys ignite the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, so that way you don't miss my videos. Then we can sit back, relax, see what's cracking, and comment down below if you have been enjoying the coverage of the Z Flip 3 and the Z Fold 3. Yes, I know, granted, for me personally, and if you guys are following me on my channel, you guys have only gotten so much about the Z3 at this point, but no doubt maybe you've watched some other tech videos about this device and the new foldable that is the Z Fold 3, and maybe you've been eyeballing, contemplating which one that you want to get as well. So let me know down in the comment section below, are you hyped about foldables yet, or flippables? Let's start that chat down in the comment section below. Now, without further ado, let's get into the video. Now, as I said, I wanted to get into some more of what I enjoy about this phone. First of all, Samsung snuck in the fact that One UI 3.1.1 was going to launch alongside the Z Flip 3 and most likely the Z Fold 3. The reason why I say they snuck it in there without really telling anybody is we had already heard hints. We didn't hear any true confirmations yet about One UI 3.1.1. We know that we weren't getting a 3.5, and we're going straight to One UI 4 with Android 12. So the fact that they snuck it in with the Z Flip 3 without a real mention of it is a little bit of a surprise. I say it's not a surprise because typically with a new phone, you will get new software like that, most of the time. But the fact that they actually snuck in One UI 3.1.1 was pretty interesting. We know during their showcase at the Samsung Unpacked event, they talked about One UI 3, but nothing in particular. We knew that there was some updates, some refreshments to the software, bug fixes, and some retuning and improvements nonetheless, but we didn't know when we were going to get it. We didn't even get a true confirmation from Samsung that we were going to get that with this beautiful baby here in the Z Flip 3. And upon checking out the software, the reason why I noticed it was because the font was different in the quick settings. So all right, so you gotta click the power button. That's one of the differences as well, unless it has something to do with the fingerprint being always on. But yeah, hitting the power button, then using the fingerprint sensor thereafter, it'll boot you right into the system. But I noticed it in the quick settings. So if you swipe all the way down and you reach this screen right here, as soon as it focuses, the font up here at the top was different. It was thinner, and then upon comparing it with the Z Flip, of course, I was like, hold up, did we get new software and they didn't tell us? So of course, digging into the software information about it, and that's where I found that this was indeed One UI 3.1.1. Again, guys, just check this out. Goodness gracious, just my red tablecloth is doing this justice in terms of providing great contrast. You can focus on this black here. It's just num 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 num. So I'm glad to see that, and I'm glad that some of the features that we've gotten to see with it have been essentially just fixes. Optimizations. One of the biggest things I also noticed was the app drawer. When you swipe over with the edge panel, you no longer have the font or icon labels in the edge panel. It's just the app. I like that. I like that subtle touch because at first glance you may not notice it. And for me, it blends in very well with the rest of the aesthetic of my phone because I already use Home Up, part of Good Lock, and eliminate icon labels that way. So now my phone has no icon labels from that perspective, and I really like that. I also like the fact that in the settings there's a dedicated features setting for the cover screen to make adjustments with widgets and wallpapers and clock styles. I like that. I might change my clock style that I currently have despite being able to use pictures for it, but I like the fact that I can still do that and not have any problems. I also like Samsung's new revitalized wallpapers and video, for that matter, for the lock screen. You know how they have that blossoming like flower type of animation? It looks even better on the Z Flip 3 from the Z Flip. And the biggest difference I feel between these two devices is the heft of this phone and the complete rework of the design of the phone. Yes, it may look similar, but it's actually slightly smaller, like ever so slightly smaller. And that's because they thinned out basically the rim of the phone. And I don't know if it's because they were able to, you know, basically machine it down with the aluminum, but it is that much, you know, smaller and just a little bit, but it makes a world of a difference when holding the phone. And the way the phone has been reformed, it makes this phone a lot easier or a lot more comfortable to hold in hand. It makes it also feel like a legit phone when opened. And I think that's one of the things that's really striking me about the Z Flip 3 is that it feels like a regular phone, 6.7-inch size when unfolded. And that's because they did such better job with the hinge as well over the Z Flip 5G. You even notice it physically when you're looking at the sides of the ridges right here. If you look at these markers right here on the edge, you could tell that they really put more thought into this, and the phone stands that just a little bit more upright. So that's one of the things I also really appreciate about this phone is that it feels like a phone when unflipped. And oh, I haven't worked it in quite yet, but and it still has that beautiful clasp when closing it, and that matte finish is beautiful. And the fact that they even matte finished the hinge is what really got my attention as well. Samsung really did their thing with this phone. Now, one of the other things I appreciate, they were able to increase and provide functionality for the cover screen. That's one of the things I really enjoy so far, is really looking at it, getting information in bigger font, you know, not having to necessarily squint or see it from, you can see it from afar now. And of course, when it's charging, it shows you the charging information. I put it on the charger while I was updating and opening and setting up all my apps and my information, getting everything downloaded. Surprisingly, because today, well, now it's the 27th because it's like 1:45 in the morning, but when I did my unboxing on the 26th, there was no update out the box yet. So we might see an update the 27th, as in today. Typically Samsung's updates usually hit after 2 a.m. so whether or not I'm still up, I probably will be, since I have to move my data to my tablet to edit. So we'll see if there's an update around 2 a.m. or not, and in post I'll let you know through a message, like a title screen or something, if there was. But usually there's a day one patch. This will be one of the first times that there was no day one update or software update or patch. Now it does come with August Google Play system update, but July 1st security patch, so that's also interesting to see there. But I have not necessarily, you know, really been working on trying to do a one-handed open yet. I don't mind doing this. It's no problem, right? I can still do a one-handed close, but okay, that's a little better, right? Now, one of the things I have not done is take the actual screen off yet. Now, I would like to, but I'm gonna wait to see it out, because so far I have had no issues touching the display through this screen protector. One of the things I did with the Z Flip was remove it, and I had no problems. I think some level of hair, like the subtlest of hairline scratches, and you have to really catch the light in a specific way to actually notice it. But that's how fine it was, and it's been over a year since I had the phone, and for it to finally have some level of generic hairline scratch that you would see on a device anyway, for a more delicate piece of technology in the Z Flip 3 and Z Fold 3 for that matter, or the Z Flip, I actually should say, was actually proved to be true in that they have done a good job with the display, and that means this year it's even better. So these are my quick thoughts, stuff that's been running through my head. And this, I mean, despite the gap that we have here, and it's just because the phone is a little thicker, and you know, counterintuitive, but it does actually increase that, and maybe the hinge is a little bit thicker as well, but I don't mind that gap. This phone is hitting different than the Z Flip. The Z Flip 5G was a hype moment just because I wouldn't have thought I would have ever been able to get into the flippable, foldable game. So the hype was using it. Oh my goodness, it's so different. How could I, you know, I really like this. If they just added these few things, I think this phone could be a game changer for real, for real. And they made those changes with the Z Flip 3, and this phone hits so much more different than the Z Flip 5G. So be on the lookout for that comparison, because I'm going to point out those specific design changes that really, you know, kind of caught me speechless with this one, outside of the major design change and improvement in the cover screen. Now, everything seems like it's all good, right? All dandy. You know, one of the things I also didn't have a problem with was battery life with the Z Flip 5G, and it remains to be seen, but most likely with an improved chip, with improved architecture around that chip, right? Improved battery tech. Of course, we're gonna just get better battery over time. So I have no problems with that. I don't think I will have any problems with that with this phone. One of the things that I don't like really is how high up the fingerprint sensor is. It's much higher. I don't want to say much, but it is noticeably higher than it was on the Z Flip. And that also means now then that the volume rocker is noticeably higher than where it was on the Z Flip. So, you know, I think, you know, moving components around the inside, changing some things around, they bumped up the fingerprint sensor / power button and the volume rocker. Is it like a knock on the phone? No, it's just, that's one of the things I kind of don't like, just because I'm so used to it. My finger or my thumb pretty much rested in the position of the power button on the Z Flip, and now that it's higher, I have to kind of scoop my finger up just a little bit more to reach it. Now, one of the things I do like about the power button, and I don't know if I should like it because it does kind of throw me off from time to time, but it is just kind of getting used to a new phone, is the power button is much more flush with the frame of the phone. Now, it was much more recessed with the Z Flip 5G, and now with the Z Flip 3, it's much more part of the design. So, you know, you almost don't know if you're actually on the fingerprint sensor or just on the frame of the device. So I do like that, but then it's also interesting that from time to time it can be, but it can kind of throw you off. But I'm sure over time using it, you'll get used to, or I'll get used to, that new fingerprint or finger sensor power button placement. But these are my quick thoughts about the Z Flip 3. Please drop the 5G nomenclature or a little add-on to the title to make it better for everybody, to just, you know, save breath, save words. This device has been a joy to use, and I'm looking forward to continued additional coverage of it. It does seem like that, I think that was a yeah. Be on the lookout for more coverage, of course. I just wanted to bring you my first impressions, my rambling thoughts about the Z Flip 3 and what I've noticed so far, and some quick comparisons with the Z Flip 5G, because I did have that for over a year. So I have immediate, compare contrast type information when it comes to the Z Flip 3. And which one will I ultimately recommend for those looking to get into the foldable game. But again, as always, if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys like the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so that way you never miss my videos, so we can sit back, relax, see what's cracking. But your man Verso is signing out, and until the next video, wait for